following content you are about to review is paid for content. The particulars of my compensation on behalf of an entity is provided in the description below. I encourage all reviewers of this content to take note of those disclaimers and to understand that the information that is passed in the following video is aimed at information and is not to be misconstrued as investing information, as there will be statements that are made based on the company's current operations as well as potential forecasts of where the company could be. Again, I encourage all investors to heed the disclaimers and disclosures provided in detail in the description below. Please enjoy. And we're back here on the Independent Investor channel with Ian Graham of Oroco Resource Corp. We have been working with Oroco now for a few months, updating marked progress, especially in 2025. And Ian has been attending the channel on frequent occasions because there's so much going on at the project. And Ian has been kind enough again to come on real time. He is on site at the project down in Mexico. Ian, welcome back to the show. We look forward to this update, and thank you again for your valuable time and coming on and updating would-be share owners in Oroco and existing share owners in Oroco. Ian?
Thanks for having me back, Ryan. And yes, it's always a pleasure to join from my happy place, which is here in Choix at the project with the team who, attend everything they do, and including when I'm here and they get to take me out and show me what they're currently doing. The just unbelievable enthusiasm for what we have among the team. So yeah, I'm here. It is hot out there. It was 42 degrees centigrade yesterday. But we got in the field early, 6 a.m., and had an absolutely magnificent time. And I was thrilled with what we saw.
Fantastic. And we've expanded upon the Santo Tomas project. For those that don't know, I will put the website to Oroco so you can stay up to speed on this ever-developing project. But Ian is going to tell us a little bit more about what went into that, what their thought was in expanding an already incredible opportunity and value added, I might add, with the additional property that they've added in Baiania. Ian?
Thanks, Ryan. Yes, so the core of our holdings are Santo Tomas and will remain the core of our holdings and be our focus as we move into pre-feasibility study there. Our partner on Santo Tomas has held the Baiania concession for an extensive period of time. It's always been on our radar screen to get to at the appropriate time. It is not possible to stake new ground in Mexico currently. And so we've finally done this transaction, an option on the Baiania project, where we believe we see significant evidence for another porphyry intrusive center. And included with that are replacement features commonly associated with porphyries, such as at Santo Tomas, where we see the La Reforma and a couple of other adjacent smaller mining operations that are in the replacement deposits with zinc, gold, silver, etc., and some replacement iron oxides. So we're seeing those things at Baiania. And there's been some historical government survey excavations, one excavation of over 100 meters into the hillside at a showing at Baiania, which we visited yesterday. And I have to say, exceeded what I anticipated we would see, adjacent to a very large magnetic feature that has been recorded by the government, and then adjacent to the historical Mazanica iron mine, which includes iron copper segments of mineralization and replacement, also with gold. So we got to visit that. We did that Monday. That visit was slightly cut short at when we had to leave because a major thunderstorm was upon us in the late afternoon. And because the hill is comprised of so much magnetite, it's a giant lightning conductor. So we departed that one slightly early, but not before we had the opportunity to look at what was up there. So we will be up there with and putting together some mapping and looking to drill that. And then the visit to El Platano yesterday, that was actually quite something, an extensive +2 kilometer breccia with significant alteration and a lot of carbonate, copper, and other copper mineralization throughout and on the margins of this breccia. So very compelling indicators of a large system. And so the challenge before us is to sort of isolate where the center of that system might be, what's causing mineralization to precipitate, yes. And to see if we can hunt down the potential porphyry center. There have been mapped monzonites and some porphyritic monzonites on the property. We'll be looking for quartz enrichment similar to Santo Tomas, but a very large system. And fortuitously, the existing claim encompasses almost all those known showings. So we're thrilled and really, can't wait to get our teeth into it. We believe that the exploration will be well priced because we have exposure at surface. We're going to be able to map it out, and I think we're going to be able to drill some compelling test holes and begin to learn about the true potential of the project. But, what really draws us in, looking at it from a very high level, that 60,000 foot view, is that the known porphyries centered on Santo Tomas, but there is a significant porphyry copper resource called Bahuarachi to the northeast of Santo Tomas. Well, the occurrence that we're projecting at Vainilla is equidistant from Santo Tomas to the south-southwest. So we believe we're sitting on a northerly trend, Bahuarachi, Santo Tomas, and potentially Vainilla. And this is not uncommon in the volcanic centers that generate the porphyries, the intrusive centers, that they're roughly equidistant between mineralized occurrences. So whilst that is something of a rule of thumb, this particular situation at Vainilla fits nicely into that rule of thumb with some very nice showings of the replacement and explosive and hydrothermal breccia deposits. So scale is right, location is right, and we're just very, very fortunate to be able to option the property from our partner, Donibaldo Treviso. So I think it is a little bit of a little string of pearls, and hopefully we have another one of the pearls at the south end of it. Just a very fortuitous series of things, excellent things that are leading to this opportunity. So, we're thrilled to be able to kick that off and simultaneously be preparing to finance our phase 2 program at Santo Tomas. So the crew is going to be busy. They're really happy about that. Andrew the QP and I are going to be busy. We're happy about that. And I think the shareholders of Oroco hopefully will be equally happy with our near-term busyness and hopefully good news that will arise from that. So, thrilled, absolutely thrilled and super pleased to be down here with the team. Andrew's here, some of the core geologists, and we had a whale of a time in the field yesterday.
Well, from our chair here in our small piece of the world, congratulations. I do want to just take a moment and invite anybody that's viewing this content to review the disclaimers and disclosure in the description below. I am a share owner in the company. So obviously all of the dialogue that we engage in today does contain some forward thinking and some comments about what we think is going to transpire. And I just want to encourage all investors out there to do their own due diligence as we provide this content for educational and awareness purposes. All right. So, Ian, fantastic. I'm very, very excited. As a share owner in the company, I'm encouraged with what you guys have done in 2025. I'm a little discouraged, I guess, when I look at the spot price of copper. I'm a little discouraged when I look at what I consider to be a little bit of short-term volatility in the ore, as well as a movement in the stock price that is probably yet to be desired. And I don't think it's reflective of what you guys are doing in 2025. But hopefully that momentum can really kind of come full circle and start to realize the good work. Can you just touch on some of the influences now on Oroco as we enter into the back half of 2025, as it lends itself positively to your guys' operations? Because we're in a different environment here. Ian, we were speaking backstage a little bit about how things have changed over the previous couple of years, and how 2025, let's just call it a transition year, but to not look to 2026 with some optimism, I think you'd be crazy as a share owner in the company. I know I am. And these frequent updates are a real help to me, and I know they are for the majority of the share owners out there that get these invaluable insights. So can you speak a little bit about that, Ian?
Certainly, Ryan. You led off with the sort of copper price environment. I just remind folks that our PEA was priced at $4 copper. Right. I think that was appropriate. As we look at the LME today, which I think it reflects more of a sort of an outside the confines of tariff uncertainties, a bit of an underlying copper price.
That's right.
And so I think as we look at that, it's robust. It's well above $4, sort of 10% over that today. Mm-hmm. So I think the forward look on copper, as you said right at the beginning, is still very strong. And of course, we're taking a medium and long-term view of it, because we're in the business of preparing future copper production for the global market. So we're still exceptionally bullish on that outlook. And, we take that long-term view. I think that's the appropriate thing to say. Some of what we've seen recently and the volatility in the price was inventory management in and outside of the US, we believe. Little above our sort of area of expertise, but we're fully bullish on copper over the medium and long term. Coming back to Oroco, yes, we've seen a fundamental pivot in our opportunity at Santo Tomas now Vainilla, with the support we've had here in Mexico. Now, I've said it before, we've always had state support in Sinaloa. It's been constant and extremely supportive. But we've now got the support at the federal level. We've covered that, you and I, in some detail, the personalities, etc. But I don't believe that can be overstated. And we're seeing our situation in the context of what's going on in Mexico. So recently, another another company operating in Mexico received a permit for a basically expansion in an open pit. And we're seeing other indicators that the Sheinbaum regime is moving at a modest pace, but steadily into normalization of mining operations, and now including open pits. So the support we've recently had, the undertakings we've received for proper assistance to help us step through the next series of requirements for our project to advance, I believe is entirely there. And the entire Oroco board and management and the team on the ground believe in that too, which is going to move us forward into a Canadian institutional-led financing to occur in the fall, and to begin to underwrite the PFS at Santo Tomas, and much more modest spend, but also the beginnings of exploring what is at Vainilla, which I'm particularly looking forward to. So I think we are queuing up for a good 2026, but we're not going to wait until 2026 to get kicked off if we can help it. The plan is to raise some money fairly shortly following the summer immediately, and then resource drilling initially at Vinear. There's some quick tests there that we can undertake to help us calibrate that, but then to follow through with the steady and important work of the pre-feasibility study.
Fantastic. We're going to wrap this down within a reasonable amount of time in respect of people's time. But what an incredible update, Ian, on the company. And I know you'll be back to keep us updated on this. I anticipate this thing really catching some momentum as we enter into the back half of this year. And I would just encourage investors to be patient. The Oroco project is just as unique as anything that I've seen. And this project, like Ian and the rest of the folks down there, are working really, really hard on the ground floor to put that value in. And where he mentioned that open pit permit was issued, that was the very reason why Oroco was a no-touch last year. Investors were not touching your company. And I think it's important to suggest that we've turned to 180 and we've entered into a realm of much more conducive opportunity for you guys, as well as the optics for investors, and that they can, look at your company with a lot more confidence, where that confidence just was not there as early as last year. And so we look toward the future. We will continue to be patient and realize that we are, in fact, investing for the future and not the now. But Ian, on behalf of the channel and all the investors in the company, keep up the good work, and we'll be eagerly standing by, waiting for your updates on the company. Good luck to you. Be safe down there, and we'll catch you on the next one. Thanks, Ian.
Thank you so much, Ryan.